We are here at Diggers Rest, catching up with Mark Ruff. Firstly, Ruffy, welcome.
Thank you.
We're here doing a little bit of filming, if you like, for the, got to get the sunglasses off as well, a horse that you're donating for the Classic Ladies Foundation and the Nutrien Equine Classic sale coming up very soon in February. Firstly, congratulations and well done for getting behind such a great cause.
Oh, it's not hard. Shelley and I are big supporters of it. We always have been.
Yeah. They raise so much money, and I think I heard there before you've donated 8 horses over the journey. It's a great contribution from you guys.
Yeah, and hopefully we can keep it going. Last year we donated an embryo. We were going to do the same this year. It just hasn't quite panned out. So this mare's filling in for the embryo we couldn't provide.
Looks a ripper too. She, I don't know a lot about the performance horse world. I'm getting better and better, but she just looks a ripper. She's just got a great attitude that will suit most people. Yeah,
it is a horse that we picked that because we think that. Yep. You know, I don't think she'll be a superstar camp draft horse, but I think she'll be a superstar for someone. Someone's going to love this horse.
A little bit about yourself, Ruffy. You do cut. You're getting into cutting, but you're doing the drafting. I was lucky enough to be at Chinchilla, and I know you went terrific, but not quite there, and the same as at Warwick. But you love the camp drafting. It's quite a unique sport, isn't it?
Oh yeah, we are camp drafters through and through, Shelley and I. I started off life really show jumping, to be honest, and then a bit of polocross, and love polocross. And then started drafting and really only taken up cutting in the last 4 or 5 years, just because we had nothing to do.
It's an itch to scratch. Would that be the best way to put it?
Yeah, it is. I've always admired watching the horses and amazed at what they've done, you know, as 3-year-olds and how people have such, you know, control of those horses. So it was an itch to scratch. It's become a big itch though. It's getting harder to scratch, but no, we are camp drafters. And
you're a horse person because you've said that you've also owned thoroughbreds. I haven't been able to get you into a standardbred. Still trying. Anyone out there wondering, I'll keep trying, but I think the answer's no at the minute. No, but you are a horse person. Yeah,
that's why we won't get into standardbreds. We just
you're not bad. Give it throw rocks, but that's okay. But like,
they have their use as recips.
where did the like the horse, like mum and dad? Is that, have you always been in horses? You woke up and there were horses all around you?
Yeah, no, I don't. You know, mum might have rode a horse half a dozen times in her life, and dad was always a keen sort of bit of a bush trainer and played a bit of polocross and worked for Ken Bolton Senior as a young fella, and yeah, so there was horses. I'm the only one in my family who rides. I had a real love of show jumping and certainly racing. I love my racing and wanted to be a jockey. Just a few things transpired against me.
Did you track ride in that?
Yeah, no, I track rode. I used to ride in a few trials, and I went and worked at Caulfield for a trainer called Colin Little for quite a while. Well, quite a while, just in between going to university. But yeah, I was never going to be a jockey. That just wasn't going to happen. So.
He's a great man, Colin, and he would have been brutally honest. He would have said to you that you weren't going to make it. No, but I mean that in a nice way. He's very, very honest about his appraisals, isn't he?
Oh, Colin was. I went there and I rode for the first week, and then the next week he didn't put me on a horse. And I said, yeah, why aren't I riding? He said, I've got a better fella. Anyhow, he let me get back on, but no, Colin was great with the time I spent with him. That was a long time ago. We had horses like Testimony, and that was well before El Segundo and those horses. But he was great.
The show jumping part of it, like my daughter's into show jumping, and I love it, and it's. I think it's a sport maybe a little bit undersold and maybe oversold sometimes, depending on where you go. But a lot of people who aren't aware of it just think they just jump for ribbons. But it is a very, very competitive sport, and you've got to be fair dinkum about it, don't you?
Yeah, look, I loved it as a kid, and just when I finished my secondary school, I got an opportunity to go and work with George Sanner and Rod Brown, and so I jumped at that. I was 17 at the time, and went there and rode. Well, I really run around behind them, and they had George Morris there for a month, and I think at the end of that month I realised I was never going to be successful in show jumping coming off a base with no money. That was my view, so I toddled off and went to university and did an engineering degree or building degree, but I love show jumping. I just thought that was a phenomenal sport.
Do you ever go back and put one over the sticks?
No, I had a break from riding for about a year, and a lot of my mates from when I was a kid, a lot of the Boltons, got me back into playing a bit of polocrosse. And that's how I got back in, and I played polocrosse for a long time, and that's how I met Shelley. She's a very good polocrosse player. I was struggling to hold the reins and the racket at the same time, to be honest, but played that for a long time and loved that sport. And then Kenny and Alison got me back into drafting at a local draft. They chucked me on and said, have a go, and I actually didn't look back. I've drafted ever since, and that'd be, I don't know how long, I'm going to say nearly 20 years now.
It is a great sport. The one thing I like I can be very green. There'll be people saying, oh, you should have known this or you should have known that. When I ask, they're very encompassing, and people are aware of the sport. You've got some people are very protective. They probably don't want more people in, but I think a lot of people are aware of the lifestyle and how good camp drafting actually is. It's very competitive, but at the same time as that, it's a great mateship sport and discipline in the horse game. It's quite unique, I reckon. You say about thoroughbreds, standardbreds, show jumping. They are very, very competitive, and possibly they can be a touch bitchy. We can say that. With the drafting, it seems that once you're out of the camp, everyone's mates.
Yeah, I won't say it's unique like that, but it's certainly different. Yeah. There's no doubt. But I love all the sports, to be honest. They've all got pretty endearing features to them. But camp drafting has allowed Shelley and we've got friends from all over the country. That's how we met Peter and Tony. I met Pete O'Neill in the main street of Chinchilla on a Wednesday while Tony was inside doing the shopping. And now Pete and Tony have worked with us on a property in Queensland now for 13 years. Yep. So, yeah, for us it's been a life-changing thing, camp drafting. But by the same token, I love going back to watch a bit of polocrosse, or, I don't go to any show jumping events and I have no contact with it, but I still can appreciate that sport for what it is. I think that's the one thing. I can appreciate a good horse no matter what discipline.
I think that's what Campbell's Comments is there to do. I mean, initially I started to do standardbred and promote that, but I think no horse sport can grow unless we appreciate the other horse sports, because you need that overlap to be able to continue to grow them. And I tend to agree. Like, you watch, I'm fortunate I probably get to talk to people that I wouldn't normally get to talk to, but if you can go there and just physically watch them. I was at Shepparton recently for the state show jumping champs, and to watch these people, jumping 1.40 and 1.50, it's just mind-boggling to watch. And it's not one person, there's 10 of them going out there, and it's a great appreciation. It's the same for recently being at Chinchilla, and I really appreciate the guys up there getting me up there. But just to watch you guys compete at the highest level, it's exhilarating. It's no different to going to a Melbourne Cup, Hunter Cup, any of those sorts of things. It is so exhilarating watching the best of the best.
No, it is. And look, we've been lucky enough, like in thoroughbred racing, to be part owners or owners of horses that have won some, pretty big races. But I get a bigger thrill out of, like whether there's $1 million or $6 million in prize money to $6,000 or $600. The thrill in all these sports is it's comparable.
Yeah, it is. Chinchilla, you have Condamine the week before, Warwick the week after. Yeah. I've tried to explain to some of the horse people, I suppose, that it's almost Melbourne Cup, Caulfield Cup, Cox Plate, and depending on which way you want to, but that's the standard, like the height that these events are held at.
Oh, look, for me, in the duration we've been drafting, that was always, I guess, Warwick has always been put on a pedestal, and no doubt there is so many drafts now, that Paradise came on board, and what Graham and the whole crew up there did was, phenomenal. And I think in my time that changed drafting, certainly did. And then now you look at Willinga and, quite a lot of these others, even what Kerry and Zane are doing at Moseley Hills, and they're just a few. But for me still, it's not necessarily about the dollar value. Warwick holds a place. Chinchilla and Condamine, that there's a triple crown. And it's nearly the same time that, the Cox Plate, the Caulfield Cup and the Melbourne Cup are on. We've rushed back from Warwick a few times to get to the Tuesday when they clash for the Melbourne Cup. But it's a triple crown, and it's a great trip. We enjoy it from here because we get to meet a lot of people we don't see all the time. But, it's a bit of a pilgrimage, and we had a COVID. Nearly forgot what it was called. We had COVID, and then it got rained out the very next time we got to go. So this year was great. I just wished I hadn't have gone, but it was good.
The second peg, we won't mention that one though. Is that how it goes? Chinchilla, well, actually both drafts, Warwick as well. The Victorians had an exceptional draft at both of them, and almost, like a Chinchilla, nearly a clean sweep, if you like, because Ben Hall won the Open, but otherwise the Victorians excelled. Drafting here in Victoria, it's a bit of a sort of quietly kept secret, but the standard here just must be outstanding just when you see these results on the big stage.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I guess if you look at the population of people that are drafting in Victoria, it's good results. I don't know, but when we head north, the competition's got such a depth to it, which is where it's here. There's a great level and a great standard through the SCA and the GCA. And you've got those great competitors down here, and Michael and Vicky, they certainly had a phenomenal trip.
Yep.
You just can't. I don't care who you are, you can't knock their results. They just went fantastic. And we do have a raft of other competitors, and it'd be wrong of me to start naming them because there's just so many and they're so good. You go to Chinchilla and you watch the runoff in the clock between Peter Black and Ben, and you rock up at the side of the camp and any one of those people could just go out there and do it, and that's what I love. Like you're there, and I love just being able to compete with them. Yep. Like I'd never put myself at their level, to be honest. They are horse people, and when I say horse people, they're horsemen and women. Like I love going up there and watching the Jess Hoffmans and the Jay Halls, and they're inspiring to watch.
I agree, and it's like you say, like you go to a Melbourne Cup, Bart Cummings is the king of the cups and things along those lines, but you go up there, you might be sitting on a horse right next door to the Bart Cummings, and you don't know it because everyone's the same. And that's the one thing that I love. The openness of the fact that 95% of people, 99% of people are happy to talk to me. There's the odd one that doesn't, and that's their own personal choice. They don't like the cameras and things like that, but they're not against talking to me. They just don't want me to turn the camera on and things like that. I think it is a really good kept secret that I think a lot of people don't want to know about it. What's one thing about drafting that you really enjoy?
I love the horse aspect. In any sport I've done, it's always the horse aspect that attracts me to it. So for me in drafting, being able to take multiple horses, breed them, start them, try and get them going, and I get a lot of help. Like there's no secret. I don't break them in. I might ride them a few times. Pete and Tone will take them and I'll keep a couple. But having a horse from, I guess, the thought process of breeding it right through to competing on it, and we're at that stage now where a lot of our horses are ones we bred, or that's always been a big plus for me. The training aspect, like I don't know how many horses I've buggered up, but and will continue. But it's just that challenge, and that's I guess why I like the cutting as well.
So it's never about the prize money or coming first.
If it was about the prize money, I'd have given up a long time ago for me. But no, don't get me wrong, I love to win.
Yep.
I love it, and it does drive me. And I think Peter and Tony have heard me say this, and I don't say it as much anymore. I used to say, I want to win every time I hop on, every time I go out. And it took me a long time to get past that and realise there was a lot to happen before I got to that stage.
I think any person watching this loves horses. They love winning. I think your answer that you gave there was the best answer, though, because it's not all about the winning. It's actually about the progression and getting that horse through. And then if you happen to win and you can ride off into the sunset with a win, well, that's a bonus. But it's the whole journey. And I reckon as horse people, no matter what chosen discipline, we undersell, what we have. Like we see a lot of people stuck in, high rises that can't get out. We don't realise exactly the lifestyle we have and how much fun and how many good people we get to meet.
Oh, and that's the other thing that attracts us to the sport. Like I'm a bit of a ring-in. Like we're standing here. And, this afternoon I'll be shooting off to go and have a meeting about a building somewhere or something. And but my heart would be, I would much rather be sitting on a horse and just going and getting a few cows in. That that's what I want to do. So, Shelley and I are working towards trying to do more of that and less of the other stuff, but it's an amazing lifestyle.
Mark, thank you very much. Yourself and Shelley as well for having me here. Merry Christmas, mate, but thanks for giving me a little bit of time. And well done for what you're doing with the Classic Ladies Foundation. It's awesome. The great researchers every year that they're doing. I think it's a great cause. I think what they do behind the scenes and the fundraising, you guys can't be underestimated, mate. So thanks for giving me 5 minutes. I know you're not keen on this sort of stuff, so I really appreciate the time.
Well, you reckon I'm not keen? Where's Shelley?
She took off. She's already gone. She waved to me through the window. Don't worry about that. Thanks, mate.
Thank you.